Arise for Ghana, of patriots of the land. Oh well, and your future. People love from the NDC shall lead. Democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity. From billion to billion, the NDC shall lead. Democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity. Victory is our land. Victory is our land. JJ is a winner. Arise for Ghana, of patriots of the land. Power and secure future. People love our goal. From billion to billion, the NDC shall lead. Stable Democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity. From billion to billion, the NDC shall lead. Stable Democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity. From billion to billion, the NDC shall lead. Stable Democrat.
Good evening once again and welcome to the Underground Show. It is a great pleasure to welcome all of you once again to this wonderful show that we come your way with all the information that you need to know about the National Democratic Congress. Fortunately for us this week, we have no other person but lawyer Barbara Serwaa Asamoah, who happens to be the second in command, our Deputy General Secretary, Operations and Finance and Administration. Today she joins us with this. We want to look at the involvement of women in politics, and we are so privileged in the NDC to have a female as a Deputy General Secretary, and that is the position of the General Secretary is the chief administrative position of the party. So we will involve her this evening, and together we will look at how women have been involved in our political setup, in our political gains, and especially in the governance system of the country. And privilege once again, wherever you are, if you have logged on to BenYoGH platform, we are coming to you live, and you can locate us on Facebook, on the handle of BenYoGH. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Wherever you are, once again, you are most welcome. And take a backstage, share the link with others to join us, and then we will delve into our program. Before we start any other issue, we will want to welcome our Deputy General Secretary to the show. Lawyer Barbara Asamoah, you are most welcome to Underground Show.
Thank you very much, Jerome. I hope you are doing well.
I'm doing very well by God's grace, and I hope you too as well.
By God's grace, I'm doing very well.
Great. So, on the last days, we've been looking at a lot of issues happening in the country and looking at the involvement of the National Democratic Congress. We will agree that it is the largest opposition party in the country as it stands now. Unfortunately for us, we are going to look at women's involvement and the party itself has been hit hard with the demise of one of the stalwarts of our political organization, and who also happens to be a woman. So we'll look
Sure.
at her at the end of the day. But let's start with you, and we want to get a bit about who Honorable Barbara Asamoah is. We have read a lot about you. You have been in government and all that. So maybe we'll start with that just to know a bit about you before we go to the main program.
Thank you very much, Jerome. Let me take this opportunity to say a very good evening to people who are watching us this evening, and to also send my greetings to the Germany chapter of the National Democratic Congress, and also congratulate our sister party for winning the elections. Um, uh, Before I go on, let me just make a small correction. When our national anthem, when our party anthem, sorry, was playing, you were writing the words on the screen, and then I saw where we got to a stable democratic Ghana. I saw a stable democracy. It's a stable democratic Ghana. So I just want to correct so that next time, um, a lot of people make that mistake. I think it's an error in our one of our constitutions, and it's being
Okay.
carried on. So I just want to take opportunity to correct it. My name is Barbara Serwaa Asamoah, like you rightly said. I'm a lawyer by profession. I've been a member of NDC since 1992. Even though when the political activity started, I wasn't 18 years yet. I started as a volunteer for the party. So we were the young ladies and young guys who were following the party executives going around doing house to house and door to door those days, and getting
Okay.
things started when the party started. Since then, I have never turned my back on the party. I've had the opportunity to also benefit so much from this party. I've learned a lot from party agents. Like I said, I started as a volunteer in 1992. I was a party agent in Ashanti region, a town called Swedru.
Okay.
Yes, I was a party agent there. So you can imagine, I was a very little girl, but very troublesome, like I must say. Because they saw me to be very troublesome, being a party agent in a Kwabre area. You know, that is where the
Yeah.
MPP is very, very thick in Ashanti region. After that, I became a branch executive in Teshin, around the Teshin Ngwa estate. I became a branch executive there. Then when I went to the university in 2000, between 2000 and 2007, I was the Tain Women's Organizer. At that time, we were called Tain Women. Now they are called Tain Women Commissioners.
Okay.
So for 7 years, I was the KNUST branch of the NDC, the Tains Women Organizer. Uh, In 2003, just after my first degree, I became the parliamentary candidate for Fenso South for the 2004 general elections. And then after 2004, the general election, in 2 years, we lost our MP. So I went for the by-election in 2006. I must say that that was one of the most competitively held by-elections in Ghana. And then in 2008, I was a parliamentary candidate again for Fensa South. So as you can see, within a
Yeah.
space of 4 years, I was a parliamentary candidate for 3 times in
Very
Ashanti
fine.
region. And then in 2009, I became the first female deputy national youth organizer of the NDC.
I think if you look at the way you are going, it seems you are just rising very fast along the ladder. Was it that
By
easy? Was it that easy to break into this male-dominated area?
because of the way I started, it is
Okay.
very difficult if you try to start from the top. But NDC is a party that really encourages women. And so if you know where you are comfortable and you start from there, you'll be given all the necessary support. And I must say that it is also your strength and your involvement that will carry you up to wherever you want to go to. So in 2000, and like I said, in 2009, I became the first female deputy national youth organizer. In 2011, I was a spokesperson for Professor Mills's elections, if you remember the game and Fonka
the game in
business.
the
Yes,
Fonka.
I was in charge of game, and we did a very marvelous work then. And then in 2013, I was appointed the deputy minister for lands and natural resources. So we lost the elections in 2016. And then in 2018, I became once again the first female deputy general secretary of our great NDC. So that is my journey so far.
And how has it been? Because I think we have to get some strength out of how you have been able to handle all these portfolios. Because
you know,
yeah.
yeah, it's not been easy, but right from the start, I made up my mind that I was going to go into it, and it's just like any other, I would say any other job. When you go in as a woman, you don't expect to get any different or special treatment because you are a woman. If you are a teacher and you are a woman, you don't expect a different treatment from your colleague male teachers. The same thing applies to doctors, lawyers, and so forth, and so on and so forth. And so, if you are a woman and you want to go into politics, you must know that you will not be given any special treatment before because you are a woman. If you have that kind of mentality, it strengthens you. And so as you go in it, you know that you are going into a male dominated environment and you are ready for it. I, for one, have always tried to break the glass ceiling, and so far it's worked for me. I've decided that I'm not going to contest. In politics, there are some positions that are kind of reserved for women, like treasurers, like women organizers, and those. It's easier for a woman to win those positions. I have decided that I will leave. We have equally competent women who can easily handle those kinds of positions. But because of the support, the training that I have gotten, I think that it will be good for me to venture into areas where women don't normally go, so that I will come and add up to the number instead of going to take away some other person's position, or a position that another woman can comfortably occupy. And so, like I said, the deputy national youth organizer, women were not known there, and it got to a time where people thought that it was only the guys who were in the youth category. But I made a difference, and I'm happy to say that today we have a lot of women organizers across, women who are youth organizers and even organizers in NDC across the country. And when I decided to come back to the party after I went into government, I decided once again to go into the area where women don't normally venture, and I succeeded. And it shows that I must say that NDC is a party that really encourages women. But you have to come in with a mentality that you are not going to get it on a silver platter. So that right from the start, you build your mindset and everything for the task ahead. And once you come in like that, you surely succeed because you are going to get the support of the men, the women, the young, and the old of NDC, and you'll be able to go far. So I'm not surprised that when I started, like I said, I was a young lady, very smallish and very slippery all over the place when it came to NDC. But when some of our leaders realized there was something in me that I could use to benefit the party, I was giving all the encouragement, the tutelage, and I must say, you mentioned Madame Ama Benuado. I must say that may her soul rest in perfect peace. She's one of the women who brought me up when I was the teens women organizer in KNUST. She virtually seeded Ashanti region women's organization to me. Anytime there was a program around Ashanti region, she would just pick a phone and call me and say, Barbara, go and represent me. And then I'm sure she got a positive feedback from the activities that I undertook. And I followed her almost everywhere that she went when she was a women organizer. I also had the privilege of working closely with the national chairman now. At that time, he was a national organizer of the party. when I was a student. I started right from 2002. I have been understudying him. He's held my hand and brought me up. And my boss, the general secretary himself, from 2005, when he became the general secretary of the NDC, he's giving me one opportunity after the other. And I've had a lot of training and a lot of backing from people like the Atua Hoys, Kwame now. In fact, all the big names that you can mention, I've had opportunity. Exactly. I have worked with our late founder, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. He gave me a lot of energy. I've worked with Professor Mills. I've mentioned Parker CMS, all the names that you can think of in NDC. They propped me up to give me the courage to move. And it's not me alone. What I have noticed is that in NDC, once you are a woman, because you are a social democratic party, women always have a place in our party. But you will have to present yourself before you get that privilege. And like I said, you don't have to come in with the mentality that, oh, I'm a woman and so I must be giving some special. No. Once you have that mentality, even though you get that special treatment, I think it rather weakens you. But when exactly, when you come in with the mentality that this is the field that I want to be, it is a men-dominated field, and yet I want to make it, I'm sure that you succeed. You can talk of my colleagues like Hanabisu and Dr. Hanabisu and all the young ladies who are coming up now. You can look up to Madame Hannah Tete. Those are the Betty Modidusu and all those women are women that have, you know, when you in NDC you can mention the names. I mean,
the names are there. You know,
we have the women too, and when we speak of the women, we mean women of substance, women who are strong, women who can be on their own, stand on their feet and defend themselves and their positions at any point in time. Those are the people that I had the privilege to be associated with in my political life. And that's so it's no wonder that I have been able to come this far.
No wonder that you are at almost at the highest peak of our political.
It's a privilege. It's a privilege. And you know what makes it nice is the fact that that was a position that was keenly contested. You know, I contested 10 strong men. And 10 strong men. And I'm sure you came for the Congress. You know what happened. That is so refreshing that the NDC gave me that opportunity. And the victory was massive. So nobody could say that somebody has done me a favor. Delegates really put their confidence in me. And it gives me the energy even when I am down. And I remember the fact that I came top and had so many people voting for me, and with all that confidence, it gives me like an energy booster. It gives me energy to move on and to carry on to do the work for NDC.
But Madam Serwaa, let me look at this. We are looking at women in politics. But let me just take a step backwards. You mentioned your involvement at the teen level. As NDC, do we really have any, what will I say, a breakthrough way for our teen executives to get into the mainstream? Because it's like,
go ahead.
Yeah, it's like very often when our people come out from the teen, they just die off naturally. Only a few are able to surface in the mainstream. I don't know what as a party.
Yeah, it's something that is a bit worrying. Just this afternoon, I was talking to a colleague, and I was telling him that when I was the deputy national youth organizer, I was in charge of the team. And if anybody you ask will tell you that after 2012, 2013, when we left, Tain until recently, when the new youth organizers took over, was kind of not functioning properly.
Not functional, yes.
Yeah, because I wouldn't say that the people there were not working, but the fact that because I had been a Tain member for 7 good years, and I had participated in Tain, I understood how the workings of Tain is. And I don't know how many of my comrades who have been former Tain executive Tain members are listening to me this evening. I would like to encourage them that there is space for them in the party. The problem that I see is that when people leave the Tain, they don't want to go back to their constituencies to work. Some of them, they feel that once I have come from the university, probably my place is somewhere else, but not in the constituency. But like I was telling you, even when I was a teen executive, the women's commissioner now, but then women's organizer, and in KNUST, I was a branch executive. And you know, anytime we vacated or anytime I had time, I'll go to Offenso where I come from. That is how I became a candidate in 2003. Go and run errands for the then youth organizer. He would send me around, even though I was a university student. I ran errands for the youth organizer, I ran errands for the secretary, I ran errands for everybody who was ready for my services. And so before I even left school, I had been integrated into the party.
Okay.
So much so that it was very easy for me to just flow. And when they were looking for a candidate in Offenso, my name wasn't the first name that was mentioned. People didn't believe that at that tender age, had just come out of the university in 2003, I could go and contest as a parliamentary candidate in a place like Offenso South. But because I had worked myself into the heart of the people, it was easier for me to go. And if you look at the results that came out of that election, you realize that we did very well as a party, both presidential and parliamentary. And so my advice to my comrades, members and the TAIN executive is that if you don't integrate with the party, you'll be left hanging. You won't find a place up there, because it is not as if because you have come from TAIN, you automatically become something. You will have to go back and reintegrate yourself into the mainstream party. And I can assure you that there's enough room for you. There's so much space that will welcome everybody. But if you don't go back to the party, you will be left hanging. And that is why most of our TAIN people do not find any space when they leave school. It becomes very difficult. Now, luckily for us, we have the Pro Forum, the Professionals Forum, where people find it comfortable to kind of pass through to come to the mainstream. But let me just mention that between the period that I was in charge of TAIN, 2009 2013, effectively, because I became a minister and my activities slowed down, many of the TAIN executives then, whom I worked with, are now constituency executives. Some of them are regional executives.
Okay.
Even national executives, because I worked with Ruth Seda, who is now the deputy national youth organizer, and Elom, the deputy women's organizer. They were TAIN executives when I was in charge of TAIN, and now they are national executives. When I go around the country, I meet so many of them. Some I don't even remember. So many of them who are constituency executives, regional executives, election directors, IT directors, and so on and so forth. But if you don't go back and integrate into the system, it becomes very difficult for you to find space. So that is the advice I'll give.
Yeah, that's a wonderful advice. And I'm sure all the past TAIN executives will take a clue out of it and try to reintegrate themselves at
whichever level. At whichever level. It doesn't matter whether it's a branch, a constituency, wherever you can feel comfortable, just go back and be a member of whatever you want to be.
Okay, wonderful. So all our good listeners, wherever you are, once again, you are on the ground show. And today we are very privileged to have lawyer Barbara Serwaa Asamoah, the Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. You've spoken a lot, Madam Serwaa, but then let's look at what are some of the challenges that women often face in political life.
Thank you very much. You know, it is not easy for men to give their seats to women. It is not easy. Men have dominated the political field for a very long time. It's been men all the way. And so it is very difficult for them to give space for women. So that is why I said that. Luckily in NDC, because of our background as social democrats, we always have space for the women. But it is not easy. It's not child's play. And I'm sure it is not only in politics. Wherever that men have dominated for a very long time, be it, I'm a legal practitioner, so I know when it comes, even at the legal field, if you try to venture into some parts of the legal fraternity, you realize that it is men dominated, and
Yeah.
getting breaking through is not easy. You just have to have a tough mind and understand what you are going in for. And like I said, don't expect any special treatment because you are a woman. Just make up your mind that this is what you want, this is how you are going to get it. If you make up your mind like that, you build some inner strength, and that will carry you along. Otherwise, my brother, it's not easy. At times you feel that the men just want us there to make up the numbers, but not to make us part of the decision making. That is how you feel, especially if you don't have any contributions to make. You feel
Okay.
that you are just there to add to the numbers, but that is not the case. I'll use my own self as an example again. And ever since I became the deputy general secretary, my boss made me, because of my background, I have an administrative background, I have a master's in public administration, and then also a lawyer. So he made me the deputy in charge of finance and administration.
Administration.
And because of the way I have carried out my duties, he has so much confidence in us, myself and my colleague Peter. Peter is also in charge of operations, and he's also doing very well. So our boss has virtually left those two fields for us because he knows that we are capable of handling it. And when he is not there, he doesn't have to look over his shoulders at all, because he knows that he has capable hands. You just have to be innovative, you bring ideas. And I have come to realize that anytime I bring any idea and I'm able to explain away how I intend to carry on or carry out that idea, my boss has always given me the support to carry it through, and it's always been successful. And so for me, you just don't have to come in and then come and add to the numbers. You just have to come in well prepared, both physically and mentally, so that whatever challenges that you face, you'll be able to surmount. Otherwise, I can assure you that it's not easy. At times, especially when you have a small body like mine, and then you go somewhere, and they're like, the deputy general secretary of NDC is coming. People who have seen me on TV, they say I look big on TV, and so they're expecting some huge, tall woman coming. And then you come and they're like, are you Barbara Serwaa Asamoah? And I'm like, so are you the one we've been seeing on TV? If you are not strong, I mean inner strength, you break down.
Yeah,
because like, why? You tend to ask yourself, why am I not fit for the position? Why are they asking me this? But I get all the time. I've become so used to it. It's not funny. But because I have mentally built myself, it become part of the game. For the men, at times when you even go for occasions, and as a deputy general secretary, you're sitting down, a man who is a constituency executive or something, and the person expects you to get up for him to come and sit down because you are a woman. I will do that gracefully. And I'll say, Chama, come and sit down. That's okay. Then I will rather pretend to be part of the organization, and everything goes well for me. At the end of the day, they give me all the respect that I need, is needed, and I also give them the respect, and we move along. I don't also have this kind of it's like, right, I am the deputy general secretary, so you have to treat me like that. If you are a woman and you go into politics, and God gives you grace, and you're able to get to that level, and you know, like we say in Chi, if you know how to wash your hands, you eat with your elders. You have to just always remember that in our African society, a woman has a place. No matter how far you go, you still have to always remember your place in our African society. It's not only in our African society. I've had the opportunity to travel to attend socialist international programs, with even in Europe. It will surprise you to know that Africa is even doing better than some of the European countries.
That one is true.
Yes. So I think that probably is just the the nature of the work.
The
And so
work.
you always have to remember that you are a woman and that you are in the men's world, but you are still a woman, and you will be able to sail through.
Okay. Let's look at the NDC as compared to our main opponents, the New Patriotic Party, in terms of women's involvement in governance system. We realize that NDC made some promises before, about 40% of ministerial appointment and all that. We will not go much into that. We will only do the comparison. Then we move on to the New Patriotic Party, and we look at their appointments again of women into governance positions and all that. I think the most striking thing is that in 2017, we had about 17% of women who were appointed as DCs, MCs, and all that within
Yeah.
the administration. In 2021, this percentage suddenly has dropped to about 14.6. And the minister responsible for local government made a statement, and I want to look at how that statement really plays out. What did he say? When he was questioned about the lower representation of women in their appointment system, the statement that he came out with was that the women have not shown interest in politics.
The women are not there.
They are not there. They haven't shown interest at all.
Jerome, are you surprised? The president himself says women are not ready. The president. Oh, he went to international conferences and said that the women are not ready.
Exactly. I was going to show you a bite of that thing, and then we'll subject you to this their current statement of Dan Boshwe, and then we'll look at the percentages. Just let me tell you, producer, can we have that sound bite of His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo telling us that women were not ready, and then we just take forth from there.
Sure.
Big definition of what political action is then.
Political action, which
Women
brings
working
about
in their communities working together.
all of that is political action, but you're looking for using the levers in the society that allow you to get control of the process of decision making. If you can't make the decisions, you're not able to enforce the views that you want. You can create the atmosphere, but at the end of the day, you need to be able to make the decision. He has made the decision.
President Akufo-Addo, I think, what do you think? Women deliver? We give you A+ for effort, but next year we want to see the results.
We'll see.
All I'm going to give you just a half a phrase.
Well, I think you and I need to have dinner. But what I genuinely think is important is this is a sentiment that's shared by a lot of people. And it's fundamental that we begin to understand and we begin to explain in a way that people can actually understand how much systems have been shaped to ensure that women do not get to be in positions of power.
Yes.
Because it's incredibly important to recognize that there are dynamic, incredible women that the door remains closed to. And
So how is he going to open?
But that's
How is he going to open?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
You're not telling me. I'm telling you. What you're saying will not open the door.
Stop talking over me and I'll tell you.
What you're
We
saying
need
will
some
not.
democracy. We need some democracy on this panel.
I think it's
How's it going to
important.
open?
It's incredibly important for male allies in positions of power, like yourself, to look around and recognize the impactful, incredible, dynamic women in their communities and amplify them, not empower them because they have agency, but amplify them and put them in positions of power. That's how it changes. It's on you too.
Over to you,
I'm
Serwaa.
embarrassed in my life before this episode happened. It was so embarrassing, it wasn't funny. For our president to be ridiculed by this young lady. And she was virtually telling him that you are not looking enough. Go out there. There are dynamic, incredible women who can do the job. And that is what NDC does. That is the difference between NDC and NPP. NDC will come looking for those dynamic, incredible women out there. NPP will not, because they don't believe that women, for them, we must comfort them. Like he himself said, the president, he sees women as comforters. That's how he sees. He doesn't think that we should be part of the decision making. He doesn't think that we belong to the table. We have to be behind and scratch their backs. That is how he sees women. It's rather unfortunate that President Akufo-Addo, before he became president, was touted as one of the human rights activists, whatever. And he becomes president, and this is what he has to say about women. And so I am not surprised at all that Honorable Dangote came out to say that the women are simply not there because they have decided not to look for them. Remember when NDC came to power? We brought people like Nana Oyelita and Co, who were not either two NDC members, but because we realized they had something to offer, we brought them on board. And there are several of them all over the place. You just have to encourage them. You just have to try them. But this afternoon, I was listening to a program where a comrade of mine, specifically the National Women Organizer, Dr. Hannah Bisi, was saying that probably they have realized that women are not that corrupt and they are looking for people who will help them to steal. And since the women are not ready to steal for them, they will simply not go out there to look for them. And that is what it is. But when you come to the NDC, they go out there to look for the women. And with a little effort, you will be supported. You'll be given all the encouragement that you need to make it. And so it is no wonder that in NDC, we just don't appoint women. But when the women are appointed, they distinguish themselves wherever they find themselves. Talk of the former Attorney General, Marietta Brew. Before she became the Attorney General, nobody knew her in politics.
Yeah,
but
that's very true.
Exactly. She came and distinguished herself. And I won't even go far. But if you study NDC, right from the PNDC, women have played very, very active roles. You can mention names. Some of them have passed, but there was a lady called
Mary Grant.
Mary Grant. Then there was a beautiful woman who was called Barbara in the PNDC era. And she was the one I always looked up to because she was my namesake. You understand? From the PNDC era, women have been encouraged to play a frontline role. And that is what the MPP is lacking. Today, if you want to mention names in MPP, who are you going to mention? Probably apart from Serwaa Asamoah, I don't know who else that you can mention. But you come to the NDC side and you see all the women there. And
but it's like if Serwaa Asamoah's name is more prominent, probably is as a result of the manner in which she carries herself with a lot of insults and other things, which is unlikely of a woman.
And if she's the only one who can, that is why I'm saying that in NPP they don't encourage the women. But on the other hand, probably like I was telling you, I used to be very slippery. But when I decided to do politics, when I decided to get into the game, I got people who always advised me, who mentored me, who gave me tutelage as how I should carry myself as a woman. And it's had a very great impact on the way I carry myself as a politician. At times when I interact with people, they wonder, and I tell them where I started from. And they're like, and you people don't hear a lot of bad things about you because I allowed myself to be brought up in a way that a woman should bring herself up in politics. So if she is the only person that you can talk of in NPP, and she herself had cause to complain that in her party they don't give women the chance to even bring out the best in them. It is not, that's the same way in NDC. We are giving the opportunity, but what I must stress is that when you are giving the opportunity, it is up to you to prove that indeed you deserve the opportunity that has been given to you. And it has always been so. All the women who have had the opportunity to serve in the NDC government or even in the party have moved on from one state to the other. And so when it comes to this comparison, it doesn't come. That's why I said they say they have the men. So it is no wonder that they don't have the women. But in NDC, we don't say we have the men because we have both the men and the women. But they will always say we have the men because for them, it is the men that matter. The women are not, they don't have any role to play. The only thing they are good at, in the words of their flag bearer then, who is now the president, is to comfort the men. In NDC, we believe that women must be part of the decision making. We must sit at the table and also contribute to our quota. And you see, women are naturally good managers. So wherever you put a woman, you can be sure that she'll give you she'll give her best to whatever you want her to do. We have noticed that, and we have given the women opportunities, and the women have not let us down. Unfortunately, in NPP, they have always, and they keep looking down on women. And
that one is very true, because let's even go back a little. You see that when the MPP attempted to bring Hajia Halima Mama as a running mate, you heard what Esla Osu and Co were all over saying about her.
Exactly.
But here we are today, lawyer. NDC took a bold step. What would have been the motivation?
Because that is who we are. That is who we are. We have always believed in women. And like you said, when Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman was named as our running mate, you see the euphoria that greeted her. Every woman in NDC came out to support her. And so it encouraged Ghanaian women to also come on board. But that was not the case in NPP. When somebody's name was just being peddled around as likely, there's speculation that she is likely to become the running mate. She was run down. And I'm sure that affected her very much, because she didn't even perform well when she became, ever since that time, Hajia Halima had never been the same person. And so I wasn't surprised at all when she couldn't perform any extraordinary when she became the minister for local government. But on the other hand, in NDC, we hail our women, we support them, we encourage them, we give them whatever it is that they need to push ahead. And as you can see, I call her Her Excellency, because very soon she will become the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. You see how she has been able to. She wasn't a politician. When she came to power, she was made. She's one of the people who were brought outside to come and join the government because we saw something good in her. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's eyes are very sharp. He can identify good things from afar. No wonder during his term he did so much for this country. So she was one of the women. So you see, just on this program, and just with one regime, I have mentioned 3 very prominent women who were brought from outside when we came to power in 2012. Madame Marietta and then Professor Nana Opoku Ajiman. They were all brought from outside. They were not known politicians. And yet they came and excelled to the extent that one of them became the running mate. And we all know what happened. She could have become the vice president by now. And that is NDC for you. We are always looking out for the best. And there's no wonder at all that in NDC, you can be sure that if you are a woman and you join the party, you have a place.
That is very, very true. I would say this, I think not only you have joined the party at a very tender age, there are some other ones. For instance, we have Jocelyn Tete, who happens to have been the youngest MP at the other time.
Yes. You know? And we have so many of them, so many beautiful, hardworking women, very intelligent, who are working at the front of the party, in their constituencies, in parliament, and have become appointed, so many of them. And so you realize that it's like in NDC, when the old are fading out, you always have a replacement of the women who take over. Now the Ama Benuados, the Betty Modidusis, they are kind of taking the backstage. Some of them have even joined their maker. And we are coming up. We are coming up. Myself, Hanabisu is there. We have Joyce Bauer and the MPs that you've mentioned their name. We are all coming up. if you look behind us, there are several of them who are also coming up. So in NDC, we are always conscious of making sure that at every point in time, we have women who are being brought up and to become future, not only future leaders, but leaders of the party. It's like unconsciously, we have a succession plan for women in NDC.
Okay. Honestly, during the campaign period, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyemang, she made certain statements and all that, and I believe strongly that maybe a sign back of it will give us an insight, and then we can discuss from it. Because for me, I see that it's an opening for a lot more women to be encouraged to move ahead like you are doing. Yeah.
And there was something very significant that she said the day she was adored. She said that the door has been opened and she is going to make sure that she holds the door open so that several women can pass through. She's not going to shut it, meaning she's not going to be the last, but what it virtually means is that she's going to prove her worth so that Ghanaians will see the need to give women the chance. And she did that.
She did that. But there are some people, well, not obviously, non-NDC or political communicators or commentators were trying to say that she did not bring a lot of, what will I say, improvement or a lot of bite into the NDC campaign season.
No, but she's a woman, and I don't know whether those people wanted her to reduce herself to the type of running mate that Bawumia has become of. She's a woman. She's a decent woman. She's a woman who has achieved a lot in life. The first female vice chancellor of a public university. She had achieved so much. So you don't expect her to jump onto the campaign trail and rabble-rouse. No. That is who she is, and that is what she brought on board.
And I'm pretty sure that our listeners will also want to have a recall of how she presented this particular speech.
Sure.
Then let's see. The producer. Producer, can you?
Out of all the debates, the major point for me is the new focal point for girls and women. You have respected women. The women of Ghana will not forget. The youth will remember. Generations to come will commit your decision to memory and make it a reference point. We will partner with our men and youth, as we always have done, and work hard to achieve peace in our land, because that is the best way to respond to this high recognition. Thank you very much. Making history is gratifying, but what really matters is not to be the first through the door. What matters is to hold that door open for those behind us. What matters is to create other avenues for self-actualization for many more. That is the work of the next 4 years.
And what a testament it is to Joe's character that he had the audacity to break one of the most substantial barriers that exists in our country and select a woman as his vice president. But while I may be the first woman in this office, I will not be the last. Because every little girl watching tonight sees that this is a country of possibilities. And to the children of our country, regardless of your gender, our country has sent you a clear message. Dream with ambition, lead with conviction, and see yourselves in a way that others may not, simply because they've never seen it before.
Serwaa
beautiful.
Asamoah, I think let's take it from here.
Can you
That,
find
pardon me.
can you find a finer woman
You,
anywhere
not at all. I think, Kamal was saying, that they have shown a history, they have shown the way. The NDC has indeed also shown the way. Will it not
Exactly.
serve as an encouragement to women going into politics? And will you ask them to choose NDC over any other party?
Exactly so. For us in Ghana and women everywhere, I must say that if you want to, if you're a woman and you want to do politics, the right place for you is to join a social democratic party, because that is the only political tradition that respects women, that has a place for women. And when you come to Ghana, obviously, it's the NDC. And so I will encourage, and it's gratifying to know that as we move around, you see a lot of young women who are coming on board. And so when people say that Madame Jane Opoku Ajeman did not bring anything on board, probably what they were expecting was for her to come and be lying and rabble rousing, throwing tantrums all over the place. But what I can assure you is that what she's brought on board is to encourage a lot of young women to find a place in politics. You see, I always say that if you want to influence a decision making, the only way out is to be part of it. If you are not part of the decision making, you cannot influence
You
it.
can
If
influence
you
it.
exactly, so if you want to influence the decision making, you have to be part of the decision making so that your voice can be heard. And she has opened the door, she's held it open. And as we go around the country, especially on this thank you tour, if you see people who are not even NDC, who are not politicians, young ladies who will just hear that she's come around, who will flock into her hotel and just come to take selfies with her, it tells you that they have found something that is gratifying in her. And it encourages me a lot. And knowing, especially when you come to the headquarters, my people find comfort in coming to my office. So many women come there. When I say, I mean young women who have just
Okay.
graduated from the universities and so on and so forth. They come because they have heard that there's a deputy general secretary in NDC who is a woman. They come and talk to us, ask questions as to how they can also get involved. At any point in time, when you come to my office, you come and find several beautiful ladies there, very strong, intelligent ladies who are there coming to find out how they can also get involved to do one thing or the other. And I am sure that it will, her coming on board has really encouraged a lot of women. It will continue to encourage young ladies, especially, to come on board. And for now, I am sure that women in Ghana have realized that if you are a woman and you want to be part of the decision making, NDC is your home. There's no other place like home, and NDC
The
is your
NDC is
home.
the hope for
That
all
is the
the
only
women.
place you will feel respected. That's the place you respected. That is the place you feel welcome. That is the place you feel encouraged. And then you yourself will know that indeed you have contributed to something worthy.
I think it's not only Professor Jane who has added, what will I say, a touch or a feel of women in running political office. There is an invitation for you right away that is coming from Ejusu Besiase. They want to invite you to come and talk to their members. So you serve as an inspiration to a lot of women as well, and a lot of young ones in particular, because looking at your
Thank you so
background, looking at where you started from and where you are now, and then when you go back to tell them that it is possible in NDC, they will take it up from you.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. It is possible. It is possible. In fact, it is possible not only to become the running mate, but to become the flag bearer in NDC. It is not
definitely.
difficult at all because we always give you the opportunity. The opportunity is always given. Like I said, it is up to you to know how to build on the opportunity that has been given to you. And I can assure you that in NDC, we don't discriminate in anything. So long as you are worth your salt, you'll be given the opportunity.
So now let's look at it. We have seen how
And let me say that I have accepted the invitation. After the program, I'll take the details and I'll definitely
Okay.
honor
Dominic
invitation.
Achampo, wherever you are, our Deputy General Secretary has accepted the invitation, so definitely, Ejisu Besiasi, you will definitely have her to talk to your members.
Sure.
Now, let's move on and look at 2024, which is ahead of us. But it starts 2024. To win 2024 starts today.
Exactly.
Let's see how best, how are women going to contribute to the success of our 2024 elections?
Thank you very much. The census that was carried out some few months ago has revealed that indeed there are more women in Ghana than men. And for me as a politician, I have also come to realize that women are the ones who vote. Women vote more than men.
Yeah.
And if we vote a bad government into power, it is women who are affected most. And so for 2024, it is the duty of every Ghanaian woman to get on board for us to achieve the change that we are looking for. And as we started our reorganization and started going around the country, I've come to realize that the women, especially our women's wing, they are doing a lot of activities. They've started their work and they are doing a lot of activities to encourage new members to come on board. And I just want to encourage them to keep on with what they are doing. And it is also heartwarming to know that a lot of women are coming on board. I always get calls from the constituencies, women. Now, a lot more women want to contest as secretaries, even at the constituency level, youth organizers, and it is very, very encouraging. When I get those calls, I get so excited. And I move around a lot, and I always make sure that I encourage the women to get on board. And they are coming on board. And I want to assure them that whatever they are doing is very, very much appreciated. It is the women who do the house to house. It is the women who do the door to door. It is the women who must go out there and get people to come. Especially, we are going to embark on membership drive. I will encourage them. Yesterday, I was with some women who want to join our party, and they were trying to find out what they can do to help. And then I tried to let them appreciate what politics is all about and what NDC is all about. And it was very, very healthy discussions that we had. So we women are the ones who are going to bring about the change that we are looking for. So I encourage all the women to get on board, especially NDC women. We are going to go into elections next year. Please be courageous, take up positions. Well, even if it's a branch, I have some ladies who came to me and wanted to find out what positions they can occupy. Some of them are nurses, some of them are teachers, and I tell them, like, if you are very busy and you want to get involved, you can even be a branch executive. It doesn't matter, so that you limit yourself to your branch, your area where you live, and that is if you feel that is where your impact can be felt. Just go and take up that position. Be a branch executive. Be a woman, woman organizer, secretary, whatever. Even a chairperson at the branch. If you can make it at the constituency, if you have time, venture into becoming a constituency executive. Even if you can't be on the front line, like we say, you can be an elected member, executive member, where you will not be constrained by whatever contribution you want to make to the growth of the party. You can also make it. We must get involved. And I know that for NDC, once you come forward, you are accepted. We must get involved. And at times it is also true that women do not want to come forward because of the insults in politics. But thankfully, now gradually people are beginning to realize that it's a normal thing. I mean, it's just like in whatever profession that you are, there are hazards in whatever profession, whether it's in the teaching profession, in the medical field, whatever, there are hazards. So we will also take the insults, especially for women, as the hazards of the job. And we shouldn't allow that to deter us from coming in. And I know that those who our trailblazers have made a very huge impact in our party. And so as we come in, we are accepted. And like I said, those of us who have had the opportunity to serve, we have not done badly at all. We have really, really distinguished ourselves. And so when you are a woman and you are coming in, people are encouraged to support you because they know that when you come, you perform. And so this time there's another opportunity. We should get involved wherever we are, at whatever level that we can get involved, so that we will bring about the change that we need. Because like I said, it is women who suffer when the economy is hard. For the men, if the economy is good, they will just put money down and say, okay, this is your chop money, do whatever you want to do with it. But when it is not going well, they'll say, oh, this is a little I have, manage with it. Manage with it.
Manage with it.
That tells us that we are natural managers. And the men even appreciate that we are natural managers. Wherever we find ourselves, we bring a difference, we bring some change. And so let's bring that kind of God-given talents into politics, and then we'll be able to make the change that we. You see, you look at the corruption and all the bad things that are happening in the political front. How many women do you hear their names? You don't. Once in a while, you hear like the Kelvin DVD or something, and once in a while.
Yeah.
But normally, you don't find women getting themselves into corrupt practices, and that is why I will urge more women to get involved. For example, if we have, say, 230 district chief executives and metropolitan chief executives, and you had about even 80 of them being women, you know that they will do good work out there, and the impact of all these things that are happening will not be that much felt. But this is a case where over 216 appointments, and only about 30 of them are women. And then they come and tell us that the women are not there. Meanwhile, in every constituency, they have a woman organizer. They have a deputy women organizer in every constituency. So in every constituency where there is a district, at least you can have 2 women who are involved in the political activities in their party. Yet they are telling us that they couldn't find women to appoint. That is why I'm saying that the right place to be, if you are a woman, especially the young women who are listening to me this evening, if you are a woman and you want to be in politics and you want to contribute to the development of this country, you want to be part of the decision making, NDC is the best party for you. Because that is where your potentials will be appreciated and will be given the opportunity to bring out the best in you.
Okay, in going forward, NDC is a place for the women in particular, because there are opportunities for all women in our party, irrespective of whatever.
It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter your background, your religious beliefs, your creed, whatever. So long as you are a Ghanaian and you are 18 and above, you are accepted. In NDC, we don't have any, like they popularly say, Obia ni Obia in Chi. We are all equal. We all pay 1 cedi dues. Whether it's His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or Her Excellency Nana Jenopoku Ajeman, Barbara Serwaa Asamoah, General Mosquito, we all pay 1 cedi as dues, unless you want to contribute more to the running of the party. And so we are treated equally.
Unless you want to contribute more to the running of the party. Is there something, is there a method of that contribution? I'm sure somebody will be interested.
I got you right where I wanted you, because I realized that you are not going to go there. Exactly so. My dear secretary, you know, NDC is a non-profit organization. So we thrive on the contribution of members. We have several ways of contributing. And for now, we have instituted some contribution or donation cards. They are categorized into 4. We have the platinum, the gold, the silver, and the bronze. There are no benefits attached to any of them. It is up to you to look at your strength, how much you can contribute every month, and then you can subscribe to any of those cards, so that at the end of the month, you also contribute your quota to the running of the party. People like you and I and all the executives across the country, from branches to the national, are using their time, their resources, their energy to work for the party. And so those who don't have the time to also be part of the executives can also contribute by supporting with their money, so that we can keep the party running.
Running.
And I am the one in charge. So anybody who wants to subscribe can get in touch with me, and I'll make sure.
So it's a very good opportunity, and to all our followers, wherever you are, if you want to contribute to the running of our great party, just get in touch, and then you can subscribe to one of the fundraising cards, and that will be excellent.
Exactly.
Good.
Thank you.
Now we've looked at going to 2024, then the contribution of our women. Now let's now see how best we can look at the involvement of the women in the diaspora too in running for political office 2024. How do they come in?
In fact, I must say that in 2020, during the general elections, our comrades in the diaspora did a lot of wonderful things to contribute to the running of the party, and we will encourage you to do more. We expect that whatever expertise that you have, you should bring it on board. And please don't hesitate to get in touch if you have anything at all to contribute. Whether you are an IT expert, you are a fundraiser expert, you are whatever you can do. We want your expertise on board. So please get in touch. And I am sure that as a party in the diaspora, you are giving the women the same opportunities that they are being given at home. So we expect the women. You know what? I went to the US recently, about 2 months ago, and I had the opportunity to join them in their meeting, one of their chapter meetings via Zoom. And when the introductions were going on, I was hearing chairperson. You know, the chairperson for the US chapter is a woman.
Vivian, yeah.
Exactly. And the branch chairpersons, they were introducing themselves, and many of them were women. And I was so excited. I said, yeah, that's the spirit. You know, I will encourage women in Europe to also get on board, because, you know, we have time. We know how to manage our time very, very well. And so I will encourage them to get on board, get involved in the political activities. Speak to your colleagues, especially those who are at home. They listen a lot to people who are outside. You are living outside. You've had some opportunities, you've had some experience, and you've had some eye-opening experiences that you can impact on the people back home. So anytime you pick a phone to call anybody at home, please encourage the person to do something for Mother Ghana. And please get involved wherever you are. If you need us anytime to come and help in the organization or whatever, we are always willing to come. We are ready. Our doors are also opened. If you need any information, any clarification, anything at all, just give us a call, and then we are always there for you. But please get involved. Don't let the men take up all the positions. Get involved, so that we'll also be able to contribute our quota to the development,
to the success of NDC 2024. We're running out of time, but I will want to switch you a little to another sound bite, and then we'll look at what is happening in the other side as well.
Sure.
Good.
Transformation of this country. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is going to bring about a real transformation of this country. After 4 years, you will not recognize. We are going to bring in policies that are going to bring development to our people. Nana Akufo-Addo has said that if you look at this country, the money is there for development, but it stays up, it doesn't come down. The money is there, but it stays up, it doesn't come down. We are going to make sure we bring in a new economic model and make sure the money will come down to our villages for everybody to get that share of the money. We are so we are going to make sure the money comes down. We are going to take a portion of our development budget to $75 million and make sure we share it to every constituency in Ghana. So Bunkurugu constituency, every year from 2017, every year without fail, you are going to get the equivalent of 40 billion old cities, $1 million for your development. Every year without fail.
So we are live on the ground show once again on BenWayo GH and all the social media handles on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And on the seat this evening is a lawyer, Serwaa Asamoah, the Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. So, Honorable Asamoah, now let's look at it. The now Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, says the money stays up there and they will bring it down. I'm not very sure if the money is on the ground now. How do you feel it?
Our Vice President is now popularly known as a comedian in Ghana. Because for him, I don't think he's even in this country. Now he's left there, before he became, when he was a running mate, before he became the Vice President, he was seen as some person who had some magic that was coming to turn around the economy of Ghana. And everybody was looking up to him to bring some magic into the economy. But now he has even shifted away from that. And now he's the best IT expert in comedy. Because he doesn't speak of the economics anymore. And when I listened to the tape that I just listened to, my impression was that at that time when he was talking, he was referring to the fact that the money was not in their pockets. Not that the money was not coming down. The money was not in their pocket, and there was a need for them. Okay. There was a need for them to bring the money into their pocket, and that is what they have succeeded in doing. When they were in opposition, the money was in Ghana, so developments were going on steadily. Everything was taking shape, and then they came and lied and lied. So now he's even known as Dr. Bioliar. Everybody knows. When he speaks, everybody, the first impression you get is that he's lying. You have to go and find out whether what he said was true or not before you believe otherwise. And that is what he has become now. And his only interest, and the interest of himself, his bosses, and all the people in the government now, is how much money they can make. That's all. And that is why they don't welcome women in their government, because it's serious business for them. How to line their pockets, their families, and their friends. And that's exactly what they are doing. So the clip you just played was referring to the fact that the money was in the banks. The money were doing something else apart from being in their pockets. And there was a need for them to bring the money into their pockets. And that's what they are doing now.
Now, the money has come down. I have our German chapter women organizer saying that the German chapter will invite you, and she hopes you will honor the invitation.
I will, my dear.
So it has been a very wonderful engagement this evening. We haven't ended yet. Wherever you are, this is the Underground Show, and we have the Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Honorable Serwaa Asamoah. Now, we will be running up very shortly, unless we want to go through some of the comments that are coming up. Well, this one comes from George. George says, thank you so much. God bless you. We're in the US. You had a meeting. Oh, no, that one. Producer, please, can you bring up some of those things that I'm not seeing so we can read a bit of them and then we can go on. There is one here she said, that is coming from Comrade Samuel. He says, you know the game. God bless you very well. It seems that
Thank
They are all
you.
very impressed with your presentation of the involvement of women in politics, and in going forward, the way we will do our possible best to bring NDC back to rule the entire country. And we have a well done from Kwame Richmond. He says, well done. Germany just voted SPD. And that happens to have been our sister party.
Yes. So those of you in Germany, especially the ladies, you have to learn from them and bring it here. Come and implement how the magic was done. Because when Angela Merkel was in government, she was seen to be doing very, very well, and that she was appreciated all over the place. And we were thinking that her party was going to ride on all the goodwill and win the elections again. But that is not what the Germans were thinking. Even they wanted a change. So if you compare the kind of things we were hearing about this lady, and yet her party had been voted out of power, and you compare it with what is happening in Ghana, you may be tempted that we should to say that we should have elections next year so that we can change this government and have our freedom. Because indeed we I don't know whether we are in slavery or whatever. It is very, very, those of you who are living outside, you may not know what is happening in this country. Every day when you wake up, there's an increase in petroleum prices, increase in something, and yet they have the lowest inflation figures that Ghana has ever had. It's amazing the way they are running this country. And so it is very, very important that our comrades in Germany learn whatever you can from the SPD and bring it to Ghana to impact on the 2024 electioneering campaign leading to the victory of NDC. We really need to come to power. Ghanaians are looking forward to see a change, and they are looking forward to see that change brought about by NDC.
Before I now let you go, I want to look at the last point from the People's Manifesto. There was an item in the manifesto that gave preference or that tried to increase the maternity leave for women. There's a school of thought that says that the percentage of women that were to enjoy that, if were to be implemented, is very small compared to the entire women population.
The 2020 manifesto had something in it for every category of women, whether they were in formal employment, informal, or whatever. And you see, when you begin to bring up some of these policies, it encourages the women. There are several women who are housewives because their husbands, the nature of their husbands' work will not allow the women to also take up employment. Because when you give birth, any woman who has gone through childbirth knows that you need at least 6 months to be able to leave your child behind at home, to go to work and feel comfortable and feel that your child is safe at home. Even for that peace of mind, you need at least 6 months. If you cannot do the 6 months, at least 4 months is good. And once people know that these opportunities are there, they are encouraged to get into the formal sector. They are encouraged to get into so it's a start. It doesn't matter whether it is only 10% of the women population who are in the formal sector. Once you do that, it trickles down to the private sector. And then even people who are doing their own businesses and other things will now begin to realize that it is better to give yourself time to heal after you have gone through 9-month pregnancy and childbirth and all that. Give yourself some time to heal. It is good for your health. It is good emotionally for you to be able to bring up the children properly. So our targets were not only for women in the formal sector, but we were hoping that it will trickle down to the informal sector. And as I said, we had something for each category of women, whether they were in the informal sector, whether they were farmers, petty traders. When you take your time to go through the manifesto, you realize that there was something in it for everybody. Even for women who are market women, we had packages where we're going to build even daycare centers in the major markets. We're going to build the market, and so that when they even go to the market, they will have a place where they can keep their children safely whilst they also engaged in their trade. And so it was a whole package for women. And I wasn't surprised at all that women bought so much into the 2020 manifesto, because it was really, really well written. And women had a lot of goodies in there.
And I'm pretty sure that the 2024 one will be super, because it will be an addition to exactly what we already have.
Exactly.
The former flag bearer, running mate, Professor Jane Nana Okoko-Agyeman, made a statement somewhere that if you copy our manifesto, you will not be able to implement it. And that is exactly what is happening now. Some of our items in the manifesto have been copied, but unfortunately implemented improperly. And
because it's not their idea. We put up a whole group of intellectuals and people with experience, hands-on experience, together to come up with that manifesto. Apart from that, we traveled across the length and breadth of the country to take views from the ordinary people of Ghana. That is how come we came up with the People's Manifesto. And so if you have no idea what is behind the policies and you try to steal it, you will not be able to implement it the way it's supposed to be implemented. And so for sure, we will come back to implement it the way that we are supposed to implement it. And I also want to put across that His Excellency JM has been encouraging the MPs wherever we go, that some of the manifesto promises, even though we didn't come to power to implement them, there are promises or there are things that MPs can even implement. So he's encouraging the MPs to go through the manifesto, come look at the low-hanging fruits, the ones that they can implement in their constituencies and begin to implement. And some of the MPs, like the apprenticeship program that we spoke about in the manifesto, some of the MPs have taken it up, the scholarship schemes and so on and so forth. And so they are implementing it in their constituencies, and it is doing very, very well. And it's also giving credence and credibility to the fact that if NDC had come to power, we were surely going to implement those policies. So we encourage those MPs who have started implementing the whole low-hanging fruits to go on and keep up the good work. It will let Ghanaians know that indeed we meant what we were saying, and they were not just rhetorics.
And it was actually for the good of the people of the country, and they are seeing it definitely. There is a commentary coming from Ni Ama, that is a former chairman for USA chapter, says kudos to Barbara Asamoah. Very, very well. Now, in winding up, we want to thank all the people who have joined us this evening for the program. We are very privileged to have hosted no other person but the Deputy General Secretary of our party, lawyer Barbara Serwaa Asamoah. And we have been live as usual on the social media handles of the NYOGH, on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, and then Twitter. So, lawyer Asamoah, we have been very grateful, and we will give you just a minute to run out and give a passing word to our viewers wherever they are.
Thank you very much. In passing, I would say that the NDC as a political party is going through a lot of reforms. At the moment, we are taking proposals to do our constitutional review, a very major activity. Wants to take time to go through all the constitution after implementing it for almost 30 years, what has worked and what have not worked, so that we'll be able to improve on it. Apart from that, we are going to embark on membership drive any moment from now, and also replace our ID cards. As you know, all our ID cards have expired, and we need to replace them. And then we are also going to digitize the payments of the dues. I mean, the 1 cedi a month. We are encouraging every NDC member to get on board to make sure that these programs that we've set for ourselves become a success. And I also encourage those of you, it doesn't matter whether you are in the diaspora or you are in Ghana, who can afford to contribute something to the running of the party, to do so that we'll be able to. There are several things that we need to do in preparation for the 2024 elections, that we don't have to wait till 2024 before we bring our contribution. Whatever small you can contribute for the running of the party, training of party agents, setting up our coalition system properly, and all those things must be done way ahead of time. And we need funds to do all that. And so those of you who can help in whatever way, whether it is financial, whether you have laptops that you want to donate to the party, whatever you want to do, please do it now so that we'll be able to prepare adequately towards the 2024 elections. And like I said, our doors are always opened. If you need any clarification, any information, always come to the national headquarters, through whatever means, and then get the right information from the right source so that we'll be able to move our party forward. Ghana is looking up to NDC to rescue Ghana. The rescue mission continues, and we must keep it running until 2024 when we actually rescue Ghana from this nation wreckers. And I'll urge all comrades to get on board. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. We'll end on that very powerful note that the success of 2024 begins right now. So whatever you can do for NDC to come to power in 2024, please don't withhold it. Come all out at this point, and then we'll support it. So greetings to all our comrades from the American chapter to Denmark, Norway, wherever you are, UK and Ireland chapter, wherever you are, we are very grateful for joining us. And to our fellows in Ghana, we are very grateful for staying online with us till this point. Until we come your way again next Thursday, this is the Underground Show, and we are very grateful to have hosted no other person but lawyer Barbara Serwaa Asamoah, the Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. Wherever you are, have a blessed night, and great to have you once again. Bye to you all.
Bye.
Suzuza. Arise for Ghana, oppression of the land, forward and seek your future, development our God, from vision to victory, the NDC shall lead, Democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity, from vision to victory, the NDC shall lead, Democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity.